What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about SENC or Senseonics Amex. We are talking about whether or not it is going to be a good play, and we're going to use a little bit of chart analysis, a little bit of news analysis, and a little bit of sentiment analysis looking on the Swaggy Stocks indicator and understanding exactly what we are looking at for whether or not SENS is a good play. Right now, let's look from the bottom up. We have on the very bottom the RSI, which is Relative Strength Index, tells us whether or not it has bullish or bearish momentum. And right now, as we see, it is really trying to break the cage of being over 70, which is going to be overbought, and then trying to dip underneath, which is going to be oversold. Overall, right now, we're looking at the 1 minute chart. So this means that this is going to be a micro scale. We're also going to look at it in the macro scale too. The two, I've drawn a couple of lines of support and resistance. Just this tells us whether or not it is going to try and break out of a certain number, and then whether or not it's going to be supported by another type of number, or if it's going to be resisted by another. So right now what we see here in the purple is the exponential moving average. That is the 200-day exponential moving average, gives us a macro sense of the momentum that it is moving in. And as well as the blue, we are seeing the 15-day moving average, just a micro scale. As of right now, we see that in the shortest amount of time frame, we have on the 17th a dip down all the way to $4.90, and then it broke that out from into the $5 range. From here, it met some resistance, dipped back down to the same level of support, broke through that level, and hit an even lower level of support at $4.80. So now, right now, that is currently the last level of support. You can imagine that if you invest in right now, you are seeing a downside of $4. From $4.90 to $4.80. That's not even touching that's not even touching 3%. What we see on the upside, in fact, in the last level of resistance would be $5.30. So that has a pretty good risk to reward ratio for me. But of course, we also have to see the holistic picture, so we want to be able to see some news as well. Switching over to this screen, let's talk about SENS and why it increased 26%. The stock price of Senseonics Holdings increased by 26.92% today. The company did not have any announcements directly, so it appears that there are other catalysts at play. There were a few Schedule 13G filings published by the SEC. Here's what the Schedule 13G documents showed. Schedule 13G report, Glider, Gagnon, Howe and Company LLC with 14 million shares, 5% stake, and then Highbridge Capital Management LLC, almost 8 million shares at 3% stake, and then Highbridge Tactical Credit Master Fund, 6 million shares at 2.6% stake. Finally, Roche Finance Limited at 28 million shares. Another catalyst is that SENS appears to be seeing an uptick in discussions on stock trading forums on social media platforms like Reddit and StockTwits. Hey, that is a really good point. And remember, this content is intended for informational purposes. For me, it's educational purposes. Before making any investment, you should consider doing your own analysis. That is why I'm going to fly around. Not a financial advisor. This is entertainment only. But at the time being, I really appreciate if you guys would smash that like button because it really does help out the algorithm. That's the only thing I'm asking for you guys to try and do. We're not quite done with the amount of news. However, do keep in mind that sentiment right now is a big part of Senseonics movement upwards or downwards. So, updated 2017, Senseonics Holdings, updated February 17th. Shares turned south the broad markets but remains elevated. Stock trading is never a one-way street, and even the Federal Reserve, and with all its money pumping, is unable to guarantee never-ending rises. S&P 500 is trading lower by some 0.5% after several days that have not seen meaningful or downside moves. The same phenomenon is repeated in shares of Senseonics Holdings Inc., which are correcting lower without a significant trigger, apart from profit-taking. NYSE American SENS is down 5%, losing the $5 level. Nevertheless, it is substantially above the 52-week low of 0.35. And FDA approval for its glucose monitoring device is critical for its firm's fortunes. Update. Senseonics has closed Tuesday's trade at $5. That was yesterday, up some 27% on the day. The Maryland-based pharmaceutical firm is still awaiting a seal of approval from the Food and Drugs Administration for its diabetes product. Wednesday's pre-market trading is pointing to further advances, another 4% to $5. It is essential to note that SENS closed January at only $2.37, and that in the last 52 weeks, it was a penny stock trading under $1. Diabetes has a risk factor for COVID-19 and will outlast the disease that is gripping the world. Good point. Final update, shares in Senseonics holding are up 20% in Tuesday's trading at $4.96. Sense shares has been strong as of late as investors await information on FDA approval for its diabetes monitoring product. SEC filings released today don't appear to be the reason behind the rally, as all are from December 2020. Roche Finance has reduced its holding in SENS to below 20% to 11% as of December 2020. SENS finished the week off strong on Friday as the Maryland-based edtech company extends its bullish run in 2021. During the final trading session before the President's Day long weekend, Senseonics added 9% to close the week at $4.16 after briefly hitting a new 52-week high price of $4.35 earlier in the day. Shares have already run up nearly 350% since the start of the year, and retail investors are on platforms and like FinTwit and Reddit have rallied behind the stock. I love how there's Twit stocks and FinTwit. One of the main reasons that Senseonics has been a popular penny stock amongst traders is the impending FDA approval of its continuous glucose monitoring system. So as we are talking about this technology, let's us make sure, that's not right, this one, that we are going to consider swaggy stocks as well. So in the overall course of whether or not this tool is actually a relevant indicator at all, it does not exist in a vacuum. Of course, it is one using data from WallStreetBets, which is on Reddit. So this is a test of momentum. It is a test of how much it is in the public eye. However, the sentiment itself could be bought, persuaded. So be careful not to treat this as a source of truth. However, as just a finger in the air of whether or not certain stocks are currently hot or not. It also can tell you whether or not bullish or bearish momentum is actually fabricated or perhaps is overhyped. So one of the things that we can see is SENS is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th on the amount of sentiment currently in there, with only 1.9% of current common volume. And if we go down here to the ticker information, we can see that the price of the stock is going to be in yellow, going up and down, and the amount of comment volume is going to be in blue. The amount of green and red is how positive and negative the sentiment is out of the blue line graph that we see here. Something that we can notice is that when it was gaining speed on the prices, it broke out at around $3 in February 3rd. It had a great rise in sentiment, so therefore you can clearly see that price carries sentiment at this rate. When the sentiment started to rise on February 13th, just roughly 3 or 4 days ago, we see that the price starts to take a sharp rise, breaking out at $4 and going all the way up 25%, like they said, 25% on one day, up to $5.24, which is correlated with that rise in comment volume and sentiment the day before. Now, as we see, as the stock continues to rise up, the price has taken a dip, but the sentiment does not stop. We have a clear conflation of the amount of talk over a stock after it actually hits the mainstream and the retail investors start talking about it ad nauseum. If you guys like that, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to follow me on every social media. It's always Andrew Mo Money. And finally, I appreciate you for being you. I hope you guys have a good day, and we'll see you guys next time.